Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you can call me Grizzer. A lot of people do, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, who have subscribed to the channel, and all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Now, coming up on today's show. A lot of people think that this will be Kevin Stefanski's last week as head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and I have some numbers that support that argument. One problem with our offense, in my opinion, is that some of our best playmakers are rarely on the field. For everyone who's complaining about Shedeur's interceptions, I have some news for you. And in the viewer comments, one thing we don't hear enough about Shedeur and the offense. Wonder what that could be. We will find out momentarily. But first things first, is this Kevin Stefanski's last week as head coach of the Browns? He was asked if there have been any discussions, and he said, of course, he understands the question, but he doesn't get into those types of discussions. And he also said that he's privileged to have this job. And I will say, I'm no expert, mind reader, that kind of thing, but if I had to put my money on it, I feel like it's his last week. I think this is it. And here's the thing, and here's why. It's again, it's not that I don't like Kevin the person. It's this offense and the way things are handled. I mean, Baker Mayfield. Nobody was the adult in the room. We kept sending him out there hurt, playing. And then we come back. Here we are. We got Schlesinger out there on one leg. Why is he out there? And I've talked to other Browns fans who everybody was saying the same thing. He's hurting us more than helping us. Why are these decisions being made? Why isn't he going down there and telling Schwartz, you got to get him out of there? There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's, Watson. Keep running Watson out there. Worm burners and air balls. But we just keep doing the same things over and over and over. And it keeps happening. But here's the other thing. This is the number one reason. He doesn't win. I mean, look. 44 and 56. Now, this is a comparison of coaches who started around the same time as Kevin Stefanski. So either 2019, 2020, 2021. Zach Taylor is 46, 52, and 1. His winning percentage is 470. A little bit better than Kevin's. But here's the thing. He's been to the Super Bowl. He took Cincinnati to the Super Bowl in multiple playoff appearances already. So I think he gets a little leeway. But they're talking about firing him. Now the latest talk is that he will keep his job, but they were calling for his head, and he didn't have Burrow. Burrow got hurt, went out. He didn't have a quarterback. Got a coach and a quarterback. Look, they won three straight, and we get them this week. It's how the NFL works. It's what have you done for me now, not the last 6 years. Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. His win percentage is somewhere around 670. Won a Super Bowl. The Eagles are in the playoffs all the time. They're always battling for the NFC East division title and this and that. They were calling for his head this year, too. They wanted him fired. They squeaked out that win against Buffalo on Sunday, and now everybody seems to have calmed down for a minute. But they won a Super Bowl last year, and they were talking about firing this guy. Here's a good one. Matt LaFleur. Been there since 2019. 56 and 29. And despite everything that the Packers have accomplished this year, they are, they're 9-6 and 1. Jordan Love's been hurt on and off. Malik Willis goes out there and, does his thing. But new president and policy chose not to extend LaFleur, even though this guy has a winning record. No, Despite his strong regular season record, they're evaluating him. They may not keep him around. Matt LaFleur and the Packers. And so when you look, and those are just a few examples. When you look at that kind of stuff that goes on around the league, look at the Giants. They got rid of Daboll. Look at the Tennessee. They fired what's-his-face. What's-his-face's kids? Callahan's kid. Like, teams don't have time for this, man. But why do we have time for it? It's just, you got to win. I always go back to that Jerry Glanville when he said, it's called the NFL, which means not for long if you don't do your job. And it's not only just the wins and the losses. It's like I mentioned, the handling of players, the handling of situations. And number one, the offense. He's in charge of the offense, and it is complete trash. 16 points a game. We're last in the league. Like, the quarterback situation, complete debacle the way it was handled. Shedeur should have never been buried on this depth chart. Screwing around with Kenny Pickett. Look at what Kenny Pickett's done this year. For nothing. Absolutely nothing. Complete waste. I mean, you don't know who's all in on these decisions all the time, but the offense is a complete disaster, which brings me to this. I wanted to know, like how does Isaiah Bond, I went and looked, Isaiah Bond, just nowhere to be found in that game against Pittsburgh. And I don't understand how that happens. Isaiah Bond had one catch for 16 yards. And I'm like, was he even on the field? Like, what is going on? I didn't hear anything about him being hurt. I heard about, the rest of the guys, Fannin and all these guys, and he's not ruling anybody out for Sunday's game with Cincinnati. So, and you go and you look, and you got scrub Cam Robinson at tackle. He had all 52 snaps. Here, I got pictures. I almost forgot. I brought pictures. Here's your offense snap count from the Pittsburgh game. Robinson, the whole starting line, 4 out of the 5 starting line, and Shedeur, all 52 snaps, 100%. Now, you're like, what happened to the other one? Well, Teller re-injured his calf again. So he only played 9 snaps. Zinter was in there for 16 at guard. And Tev Jenkins for 31. But take a look down towards the bottom of that list. Look down there, just above Teller. And just below Teller, you've got Isaiah Bond and Gage Larvadain. 12 snaps and 4 snaps. I don't get it. These are playmakers, especially Bond. When Fannin goes out, why don't we adjust? And why can't we run some screens to Bond? Why can't we run some jet sweeps to Bond? Why not bootleg and let Bond drag across the field and get it to him in space? Like, the guy's got 4.3 speed. Was Harold Fannin like the only person we were going to go to throw to the whole game? And then I looked to see. I'm like, okay, well, Fannin went out. I told you they can't cover tight ends. Brendan Bates had the first catch of the game, 19 yards. We have all we use here is we trust our guys. We threw once to Bates. That was when Fannin was still in there. We threw twice to Fannin for 30 yards and a touchdown. We threw twice to Sal Cannella. And then we threw one more at Whiteheart, but it was incomplete. So we threw a total of 5 passes to tight ends. When I told you all week they can't cover tight ends. And we were proving me right in the first half. And then we just didn't go back to it. Just because Fanning goes out doesn't mean you have to throw the tight end game plan. But it just doesn't make much sense to me. And then the other one is this. If you go up, look above Zach Zinter. If you see Fanning, just keep climbing. Dylan Sampson, 18 snaps. The Rocket Sanders, 22 snaps. 42% of the snaps Rocket Sanders got. And Dylan Sampson gets 18 of the snaps, 35%. And you saw what Sampson brought. Of course, there was a penalty on Cam Robinson, which that's a given. What a complete mess that is. Sampson and Judkins can hit a home run for you at any point during a game. Rocket Sanders, like I said yesterday, he reminds me of Hunt. He is not a home run hitter. He's a banger. He's a goal line guy. He's like Ironhead Hayward or something. I mean, he's not a home run hitter. And in a game like that, you need home run hitters. You got to get the ball in the hands of your home run hitters. Bond, Sampson. And if you're tight. It seemed like all the tight ends were getting open. Keep feeding them. I thought we missed opportunities to bootleg Shedeur. We're running the ball on first down every single time. Run the ball, and then I remember we only had the ball once in the third quarter because Pittsburgh had it twice, and they had a big long drive that took us all the way into the fourth quarter. But that drive that we start with a run, and then there's a penalty on Robinson, and now we're 2nd and 14, and then everybody expects you to pass, which we drop back to pass and get sacked, and then they just hand it off and kiss the drive away. You know, why not on 2nd and 14? How about dial up a screen to Bond? How about dial up a screen to Sampson or something? Give me a tight end screen. Just because Fannon's not in there, give me a tight end screen. Get half of it back and get yourself third and manageable. The other thing we kept doing was making me nuts is the play action and dropping Shedeur back 19 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I've been screaming about that all year. Why we keep doing that, I don't know. It makes absolutely no sense. You know, and when this Armstrong guy started tearing up Cam Robinson, you saw what Pittsburgh did to keep Myles Garrett from wrecking the game for them. Got the ball out quick. They ran plays to get the ball out of there. Why don't we do that? I've only been saying that all year long. That's my problem with the offense, man, and the scheme. And it just doesn't add up, man. These are professionals that are in charge of this offense, and to me, it's pretty basic stuff when you look at it, man. You attack their weaknesses and get the ball. Players over plays. You hear it all the time. Get the ball into the players that are going to make your plays. Don't worry about running the perfect play. Worry about getting the ball in the hand of your players. Like, we don't do that. Just like taking Shedeur off the field, we're going to take Judkins off the field when we get inside the 5. Remember, beginning of the year. Like, it doesn't add up, man. And again, all of this is what adds up to Stefanski not being here come Monday morning. Now, the other thing everybody's whining about is Shedeur and interceptions. And I got some news for you folks. Do you know, I'm going to do my muscle man for you. Do you know who else throws interceptions in the NFL? Yeah, every other quarterback in the league. I mean, it happens. It's part of the game. But here, take a look at this. These are your interception leaders. Geno Smith, of course. But then look at the sacks. Right next to that, that's sack and sack yards. 55 sacks. He's been sacked 55 times. Eesh. For 405 yards. Tua second with 15. And I know they played a lot more games. I know they played more games than us. Sam Darnold, I got a point. Don't worry, I'm getting there. Sam Darnold, 14. Although he doesn't get sacked too much. 25 for 169. Justin Herbert, 13 picks. But look at the sacks. 54 for 301. A lot of that is he's got an offensive line that's trash too. Trevor Lawrence and the mighty Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has thrown 12 interceptions, been sacked 39 times for 231 yards. J.J. McCarthy, trash, doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes, 11, 34 sacks, 193 yards he's been sacked for. Bo Nix, 11 interceptions, 18 sacks. There's Flacco, gosh darn, 10 picks in the time he played. There's Prescott, 10 picks, sacked 31 times. Baker Mayfield, 10 for 34 and 229. Baker's, man, he's hurt again, and he won't sit down, and it's killing his team. So, but then there, Josh Allen, Bryce Young, Shedeur Sanders, all of them with 10 interceptions. And Shedeur with the 17 sacks for 135 yards. My point is this. Even the best quarterbacks in the league throw interceptions. But they're good enough to overcome it. And that's what Shedeur is. Shedeur is good enough to overcome some of these mistakes. He's good enough to overcome the trash offensive line we have. He's good enough to overcome the wide receiver core that we are. Well, we have Bond. The Bond thing I don't understand why we don't get Bond involved. I don't get that. But these guys can overcome this stuff. And here's the thing. If you watch that Bills-Eagles game after our game on Sunday, I did because Josh Allen was my fantasy quarterback, and I was in the championship game, and so I had a lot of interest in that game. He looked like a rookie for most of that game, making goofball mistakes, running around, running backwards, running all this stuff people want to ding Shedeur for. Josh Allen is out there doing it. And he was drafted in, I think, 2018. He's like 7 years into the league. And he's still doing it. Like, the people who are trying to bring down Shedeur, it's nitpicking, man. Because there are plenty of other quarterbacks that do a lot of the same things. And when I see Shedeur, I see a quarterback who can play in the NFL. And I just keep watching Caleb Williams. Did you watch that game, that San Francisco game? I mean, he has come so far in such a short time. I really thought he was going to be a bust last year. The way he looked, I'm like, this guy, man, it is just bad. Got to figure it out. That's why giving Shedeur these 7 games and then now give him the full offseason and then the whole preseason next year to prepare, and then let's see where he goes. You don't need to waste a pick on it, and quit worrying about the interceptions because we can go back and count them up. Not all of them are his fault. The Judy handed the one to the guy in Chicago. And the one on Sunday, he got annihilated from behind. The ball gets tipped and bounces off the helmet, and So, like, that kind of stuff happens. But look around the league. Even the best quarterbacks guys who won Super Bowls, make bad throws every once in a while. And for Shedeur, he's learning every single week. But to me, the rewards are outweighing the risks at this point. And I feel like when we have a 3rd and 9, we're not doomed like we were with Dillon Gabriel. It's just the way it is. What's never doomed are the viewer comments. And today we will start with Sharon-GN3JX, who says, the offense may not have many tools in the shed, but it is always exciting to watch what 12 can do. And that's my point. I mean, even that throw he made to Fannin in the rain, and the ball comes out funny, but he threw it back shoulder. He purposely put it to a spot where Fannin could adjust, and he floated it out there for him so he had time to adjust and get under that thing and make that catch. That's what he did. And now I've heard some, I also had some comments, and this is I thought it was interesting because Shedeur would do that with his receivers in Colorado. He trusted them to go up and get it. And that's what I think he was trying to do with Judy on that second interception. And Judy just didn't go up and get it. Now, any coach is going to tell you that's a situation where he probably shouldn't try that anyway. He should just get rid of it. My thought was if he throws it over Judy towards the sideline and try to get Judy to run underneath it, and even if he goes out of bounds, whatever. It's just like throwing it away. Or if Judy can somehow toe tap a catch on the sideline, then we're in business. But that was not the right throw in that situation. And who knows how much the pinky was bothering him. But definitely in the first half, it was pouring. That ball was soaked. So, I think both quarterbacks are having a little bit of trouble. But you're right. 12 elevates the offense. Dillon Gabriel did not elevate the offense. Now, the problem is the scheme and the play calls, and we still got it. That has to change. You've got to. We keep hearing, I trust my guys, but we don't trust our guys. We want to nurse a 10-point lead for 3 quarters. That's what we tried to do on Sunday, and it almost cost us. That's what Stefanski does. You get a lead, and you just try to nurse it. That's it. That's all you try and do. You can't win like that. You can't win by playing not to lose. You can't. But that's what he does. At J. Scott says, Shedeur in 5 games reminds me of a young Brett Favre without the strong arm. He is going to take chances and depend on his guys at times, and interceptions will come. But plays like the touchdown to Fannin, although not a great throw, I'd say it was a great throw, will come as well. Both interceptions didn't hurt the team thanks to the defense. I will take the TD and the interceptions if it's a win. We saw what a quarterback who doesn't throw downfield looks like with Gabriel. Yeah, you got an offense that goes nowhere. You can't be check down Charlie in this league. You just can't do it. You have to throw the ball downfield. If you watch that San Francisco and Chicago game Sunday night, my goodness, they were just slinging it all over the place, and McCaffrey's running all over the place, and it's like pew, 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 pew. Tight ends involved. They got a tight end. They got a couple. They throw the ball to their tight ends. Because San Francisco, they're worse at covering tight ends than Pittsburgh. I could find this information. Our guys should be able to, our coaches should be able to find this information and come up with a game plan to exploit that weakness. But we don't. And it shouldn't matter who's in there at tight end. I mean, if you're a professional football player and the coach is up there every freaking week saying, we trust our guys, then trust them. And tell them, get them the ball. Whatever you have to do, get him the ball. At Amber Love -LOL. So is it Amber Love and then she laughs? Laugh out loud. Amber Love LOL. Taking another quarterback with no supporting cast is starting the losing cycle all over. I agree. We don't need to do it. We need to start building around the quarterback that we have, Amber Love. I hope you are in the war room on draft day and you explain this to them so they know. Amber Love, LOL. No, we don't need to be wasting a pick on a quarterback. Got to get Carnell Tate. Get linemen. I mean, God, how much longer? Well, one more game. Cam Robinson and Levinson. Ugh, what a mess. We'll end today on G-Funk 3737. It's a great handle. So that's why we like to end on great handles too. G-Funk 3737 says, one thing I don't hear enough. This is what we teased at the top. One thing I don't hear enough is people talking about how the Browns offense is performing with Shedeur at quarterback versus Dillon and Flacco. My eyeballs say different. Combine that with the talent in the offensive line, running back, and tight ends room being in worse shape, I can only conclude Shedeur is elevating his teammates. It's like I knew that was coming. I did not know. I forgot I put that one in there. But that's exactly what I just said, G-Funk. The good ones, I talked about this from the time he's taken over. It's the Michael Jordan effect. It's like Jordan. Jordan made all of his teammates better. Shedeur is making this offense that is with a makeshift offensive line, and Isaiah Bond and Fannin, who now, I don't expect Fannin to play. With groins that's like a hammy. I don't think he's going to be able to play on Sunday. But you got a week. Figure it out. Cincinnati, they can't cover him. But look what McBride just did. They were like, this record, eight catches. We'll give them 11. Like, they can't cover tight ends to save their lives. So, again, it's another situation, a horrible defense. I honestly, my early vibes, and this is a bold prediction on a Tuesday for you, I'm feeling shootout, man. I think him and Burrow might end up going back and forth a little bit. This could turn into like that Tennessee. I think Shedeur is going to have a big game against this putrid defense. Because what do you got to lose? Just let it rip. Let's go. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think this will be a fun game against the Bengals. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns! We'll see you next time.